This is AVIOT, Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's spelled K3MISTRY Productions, a media education company.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.
Without further ado. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is AVIOT. Hey.
Hey, guys.
Yo, what's up? How everybody doing?
We're starting way behind schedule. Hopefully we can pick up the energy. But what I wanted to start with is the Red Table Talk with Jada and Willow and her mother. So Red Table Talk is this Facebook series that Jada Smith headlines pretty much. And they talk about different topics, their family issues and topics that are happening in media and in the public. So I want to know if either of you caught the clip regarding Snoop Dogg's comments towards Gayle King and how Jada Pinkett Smith took these comments.
When you first came out and you said what you said, in regards to Gayle,
yes,
my heart dropped. I felt like not only were you talking to Gayle, but you were talking to me. Yeah. I was like, oh no, Snoop has now taken his power flow away from me, away from Willow, away from my mother. Right? I was like, oh, if this is what's happening, I was like, not Snoop.
Right.
I saw a snippet of it, how she was offended, I guess, for black women in general, based on what he said. That's what she was saying. But I only saw a snippet. I didn't really...
Yeah, so I had a chance to look into the majority of the video, and it was crazy because it turned into an apology tour for Snoop, just talking about how he was sorry for how he conveyed his frustration towards Gayle King. He called it a B word. And me personally, I understand you don't want to call out their name, but sometimes if you feel that something's getting out of line, I can understand how you would get to that point. But I just don't like how they're changing the narrative. So pretty much this whole issue with Snoop Dogg and Gayle King started because Gayle King was questioning Lisa Leslie about the late Kobe Bryant's old rape allegation case. And she was like pestering her and pretty much insinuating that Kobe Bryant might have raped this white woman way back in the day. And the thing is, Kobe Bryant just passed away. It was tragic in this helicopter crash. And Snoop Dogg, he was airing out his grievances towards this problem. He was very frustrated. I don't agree with calling a woman outside of her name. However, I understand his frustration. And it seems like the narrative got changed from Gayle King being in the wrong for pestering Lisa Leslie, a grieving friend of Kobe Bryant, to now we're all looking at Snoop Dogg being misogynistic and how black men are always misogynistic and how he needed to apologize, yada, yada. And the thing is, Jada actually invited Gayle King to come on Red Table Talk, but Gayle hasn't come on there. And then I was watching, and Snoop Dogg said he reached out to Gayle, he reached out to her friends, and Gayle hasn't responded to anyone. So it just seems to me like she's stuck in her ways. She doesn't want to admit any fault. Like even when she gave that BS, I don't know what that was. It wasn't an apology on her Instagram live. She was pretty much saying that her comments were taken out of context. They were not taken out of context. You are part of a machine that go against black men. And this needs to stop. Black women and black men don't need to be fighting against each other. And I believe that she needs to be held accountable for her actions.
To be honest with you, I agree with what you were saying, Jay Stokes. I had a problem with the narrative being changed. I feel like Gayle King was totally wrong for what she did, and Jada Pinkett, she didn't stress that. She focused mainly on what Snoop said. It seems like the whole table talk was about what Snoop did, and Snoop really looked like a sad puppy on that show. It was like he was so submissive. It was kind of sad. It was like, yo, is he about to cry or is he high? Like he's either or.
He's high. Probably mad he was there. But he needs his bag. So, you got to play nice. It's all about politics.
Exactly.
You're right.
You know what? You got a point, Corey. He definitely need that bag. So he's eating. He's really eating shit right about now. I feel like, because he knows, listen, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but at the end of the day, I got to get my bag. So if that means I got to apologize to this lady, knowing I really don't want to apologize, is okay, because I'm still going to get my money.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure that really affected his wallet behind the scene. I mean, you even see Martha Stewart not trying to take his side. Martha Stewart was like, listen, that's how Snoop feels. That has nothing to do with the show. Like, she just distanced herself from that. I was like, wow, Martha, okay, that's what we do. I saw Martha distance herself from him the same week it happened. So I feel like what Jada did was Jada focused on the wrong thing. What Snoop said, I said from the giddy up was totally out of character. I didn't appreciate it. But in the same token, I don't think we should really be harping on what Snoop said anymore. We should now start focusing on what Gayle King did wrong. She has to own up to this too. It takes two.
Right.
Yes, sir.
She initiated the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And I did do some more digging. I think that Oprah helped get Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk started because she actually thanked in an Instagram post. She said there would be no Red Table Talk if not for Oprah. So I think that there's a connection
How does she
there.
need Oprah for that?
Funding or maybe to get the platform. I don't know
She
if
got
Oprah
money.
has a direct hand in there, but
Well, this
Okay.
the problem then.
People love Oprah.
We're actually muddying the waters right about now. Like, why would you go to a show that Oprah has anything to do with? Because now you know your ass is on the line, meaning Snoop. So Snoop was never going to get a fair case. I mean, not a case, but he was never going to be treated fair because Oprah had something to do with it. So Jada knew that she had to basically say the things that Oprah would love to say to Snoop. And that's just badgering him about what he did wrong. And it's like, okay, we get it.
Did she come at him in an aggressive way? It didn't seem like that.
No, she didn't come
No,
out
no,
in a
no,
aggressive way,
no.
but she kept on like pointing a finger or something. Like when you said that to her, it hurt my spirit. I'm like,
Oh
what?
yeah, I saw
Like,
that, and
girl,
people was
stop.
like, Jada, please.
Yeah, it's like Jada, stop.
You're right.
Okay, you worry about Will
Just being
calling you out your
dramatic.
name.
And she's a clout chaser too, because whatever the tea is at the moment, she gets them on. Like,
Yeah,
that's just
exactly.
what she does.
Remember
When
Jordan
her niece
Woods?
Jordan was beefing with the that was her little Red Table Talk. Like, come on, the big commercial behind it. Like, Jada, girl, goodbye. He said it because Kobe's his friend, and people say things out of anger. And that's what I was saying before. I don't feel like people should have to apologize for how they feel. Maybe the way they made you feel when they said it, but if that's how they felt, like, come on.
the thing is, this is an unpopular opinion just with the Jordan Woods thing. I didn't think she was in the right. Like everybody was taking her side. She's a homewrecker. that's what it was.
And she
She's
knew
a
what she was
homewrecker.
doing.
Well, what did
So
she
I'm just
do?
Okay,
She
what's it?
okay. Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead,
that's
Randall.
how I feel. So, Coy, let me ask you a question. How would you feel if your best friend went behind your back and hung out with your man and his boys at a party and didn't even tell you? How would you feel? I'm sorry, not even your man. Okay, yeah, your best friend. Yeah, basically. How would you feel? Isn't that like, that's shady, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
So that's what she did. She basically went to a party that Tristan was having, and none of the had
Oh, that he was having.
Yes.
Not just like they ended up at the same club.
Nah, a party that he was having at his house.
Oh,
None of the had
A house party.
you know what I'm saying? So that right there was kind of like none of the had dark, and that was back when he was still Will wasn't there, Mick wasn't there, her best friend wasn't there. So it's kind of like, okay, girl, what are you doing? And then she was sitting on his lap. They said all that night, and this party was the type of party that to get in you had to give up your phone. So it's kind of like, come on, man, you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, that's questionable in character. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you know.
Yeah, I didn't know what really happened.
Yeah. So
no, I wouldn't be okay
why
with
this. She was shady.
Yeah,
Got
so
it.
that's
Yeah.
why I didn't take her side with that. I just left that one alone. I was just like, yeah, you came in and you were in the wrong situation, but everybody jumped behind you because for some reason the side chick or the thought is now praised these days. I don't know why, but it
The
is
side thought.
the side thought.
Okay. I heard that. I had to take that one. That was funny. Okay.
So going back to the Kobe situation in general, did any of you actually listen to or see the memorial service?
I
for
see
him?
about 20
A
minutes of
snippet.
it.
I saw
Okay,
about
it was really good.
a minute in
No.
total.
I'm sorry, say that again, quick.
Saw about 1 minute in total. Like a
All
little bit of like Beyonce singing and then his wife talking. It's sad. I don't really want to watch that.
Yeah, I agree, because that's what I did. I actually seen, this is funny. I saw Michael Jordan speak. I saw Kobe wife speak, and that was it.
And
I
so
just
they're
said,
gonna make another
yeah, that
Michael
was
Jordan meme.
Yo, Mike, to see Mike in tears like that moved me. I was like, wow. Mike never shows his emotions like that. Yeah, he was crying at his Hall of Fame speech, but that was more so because, yo, I did it.
That's where they got the other meme from. People are
Yeah.
so sickening, yo. So sickening. Okay.
And then Mike talking about, look, y'all about to make another meme out of me. I'm going to have to deal with this for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, they be getting that one. That's so funny. Okay.
Yeah, but it was a nice memorial service. I felt like whoever orchestrated that did an excellent job. They got the right amount of speakers, and it didn't feel like it was long and drawn out. And they did a good job of celebrating the lives of Kobe and Gigi.
It was definitely sad watching. So, once I felt like, okay, I'm at work, this is getting a little out of hand, I actually turned. Only because, once again, it was started at 12, 1 our time, and it was over, it was like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, a little under 2 hours. It was the right amount, and I felt at this point, I'm starting to accept the fact that Kobe's gone. You're still in denial a little bit, but I'm starting to accept it. And yeah, I think it'll hit me again when the Hall of Fame inductions come in for the NBA. I think that's when it'll hit me again. Dang.
I hear you. Yeah, it's tragic. It really was. And then and now his wife is suing the helicopter company. So it's like, oh man, if this guy been prevented, that's a bad feeling too.
I'm pretty sure there was negligence, but hey, it is what it is. Did you both know that there was another mass shooting today?
Come on.
No, we're at.
Mm-mm.
It was in Milwaukee at the place where they make the company of Miller Lite and Coors beer, the Molson Coors headquarters in Milwaukee.
Oh,
and so from what rumors are saying, it might have been a employee of the establishment.
That's what I would think. Who else is
agree.
going over there to shoot up the beer place? That's crazy.
Well, they're not saying who the gunman was yet.
Yeah, anytime they don't really say who it is, it's not us.
Okay, because you already know. His face would have been plaster everywhere. Otherwise.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We'll see, though. We'll see. Look.
Yeah,
next week.
Don't tell me he black. Don't tell me he black. Oh, I thought you were going to say he's black. Okay, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry, Random. I'm just looking right. Identified as a 51-year-old Milwaukee man, and he died from suicide. So the cops didn't even get him.
Okay.
So killed 5 people and killed himself.
Everything leading to the fact he ain't black.
Okay.
Next week we'll find out though. Next show we'll be like, oh, he was black.
Sure, a lot of these.
Well, you know what? Condolence to the people who passed away. Someone did get killed, right? Or no?
5 employees were killed, yes.
Oh, that's sad, man. That's sad. I mean, you go to work. You don't go to work not to show back up. I know I'm saying not to come
bad
home.
enough. And then you're going to kill me there too? Shit.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another killer who just had a little blip in the news. Anybody remember?
Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
He was in the news. He staged a hunger strike because he felt that the prison guards and everything, because he's on death row, he felt like they were treating him unfairly and they were verbally harassing him and abusing him without cause.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, and
It's called karma.
Yeah, you killed these black people at church. Okay, so whatever.
What an idiot. People shouldn't even...
He should really. So he on a hunger strike? Well, let his ass die then. Shoot.
Well, he had to end the hunger strike because he got restrained and they were trying to put an IV in his arm. So he was like, oh, well.
If he's on death row, why are they trying to... That's so weird.
I know, just let it be. Old sucker.
If he's on death row and they're not causing him any harm and he's decided not to eat, then what difference does it make? What do they want you to do? Just hang out for a long time first? And then, what is it?
And the thing is, it's causing taxpayers money. You're keeping him alive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It costs so much to keep people in jail. Exactly. So, come on, death row? Mm-mm. That makes
death row cutting up.
Yeah. His lawyers are trying to get him off talking about he was mentally ill and he wasn't in his right state of mind. I'm like, wow. So we have a lot of mass shootings. They are 90% white, and you always use mental illness as an excuse.
You said 90, son?
He's trying to be nice.
Well, actually, I was reading this article, and they were trying to say that most mass shooters are black.
What?
And
right.
And this is what they use to measure it. Mass shooting is, I think, 3 or more people. So, they're thinking about gang violence when you just... And they talking about that's mass shooting.
Okay. That's considered mass shooting? Okay.
No.
People always try to change
you know how shit is. That's what's all about. It's so many definitions. Whatever fits what the hell they're doing at the time. I just feel like Dylan Roof should just chill, don't eat if he don't want to eat, and keep it moving. Like Coy said, he on death row. Why the hell do we care if this man died by lethal injection or by not eating. It costs money to keep that sucker alive. So, shoot, you want to go? Bye. Look, you see how they let Rothstein hang himself, right? But they won't let him not eat.
Dude, you and these names, man.
What's his name? What's his name? What Rosen?
Epstein.
Epstein? It's like a Rothstein. So anyway. Epstein. See, I got the Steen right.
Weinstein, Epstein.
Yeah, exactly. All jokes aside, though, I just feel like that wasn't news. It's only news when they execute him, I feel, personally. Why he still breathing?
Exactly. Why is he still alive? Why is he still alive? How long ago was that murder? How long ago was that mass shooting? And this dude is still alive?
Alive, man. He's going to be alive for another 40.
He's staying alive. Meanwhile, Kobe died, Prince died, Aretha Franklin died. This dude's still around.
Wow.
It took 2 years to bury James Brown. So, I mean.
Not 2 years.
Yo, Coy, it took about 2 years to bury him. They had him on a world tour.
James Brown?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yo. Coy, they had him on a world tour in his casket.
Oof. That probably matches James' personality, though. Maybe he acts for something like that.
No, you know what it was? They were saying that the family were arguing about who gets what. So,
he ain't alive. Why he got to be above ground while they arguing?
I know,
For
taking him to Harlem, taking him back to his home.
He took him to the Apollo, right, so people could see him.
It was taking him everywhere. That man was foreign.
That's crazy.
No, but you're right. All these people are dead or dying, and then you got this dude waiting out his time. He's lucky.
You notice all these killers of black people still alive. Zimmerman's still alive. Dylan Roof's still alive. The dude that choked Eric Garner's still alive. All these murderers seem to live forever. And then all the people that are good or trying to do good, they end up going out.
Your life is funny.
People always say the good die young. That's like an expression. So I think that's like a real thing,
I agree. So
I don't know why. I don't know. That's so weird. You're right. Go ahead. I had an afterthought. My fault.
Now, the way this world works is very... the universe, rather. But I was going to say, speaking of young Coy, to pick off from what you're talking about, did anybody hear about that 6-year-old girl, the Florida girl, who was...
Former resource officer Dennis Turner telling another officer in this video to put a 6-year-old in restraints.
Yeah, I seen it. It was disgusting.
That video was horrible. So basically, her name is Kaya Roll, and she was arrested for kicking and punching staff members in her Orlando charter school. This girl is 6. You mean to tell me adults can't get her under control? She's that strong, that powerful? My issue is this. She's going to be scarred for life over this encounter. And she misbehaves even worse after this, or doesn't value herself, maybe turn to stripping or turn to pornography or something like that. I'm thinking about worst case scenario, I know.
Yo, time out. Yo, Coy gave the best sound effects ever. Oh my God.
That was crazy.
I don't even need to put the sound effect in for that one.
Oh man, that was hilarious, Coy.
But the thing is, she turns to that as a result of this, because every time you have an adverse childhood experience, that can potentially lead to adulthood filled with drama. So people need to consider that. And why are you arresting kids? Come on.
Did he get arrested? Did he get fired?
Yeah, he got fired. He's black.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's black. Black officer. Yeah.
Coy, remember what I was telling you?
Mm-hmm.
They're the worst.
But not only that, it just seems like black police officers get reprimanded more, and they get reprimanded more severely. You'll see the white officers, they get a slap on the wrist. But the black officers, we can actually prosecute police. We can actually do something to police officers if they're black. Remember that.
Yes, you're right. Remember the black guy? It was a black and white officer. They were in a car, and this white lady banged on a window in the alley. And he turned around and shot her because, you don't bang on a cop window.
Yes.
He got found guilty.
Yes. I'm trying to get his name right now.
Yeah.
Her name is Muhammad Noor.
Yeah. That name alone probably say, yeah, son, we going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
But yay. Hey, real quick. I remember we had a show a while back. I'm not sure if you was on this show, but we were talking about lynching and how it wasn't a federal crime, hate crime.
Mm-hmm. Until today, right?
After 65 years, lynching is now considered a federal hate crime and punishment by life in prison. After 65 years, I guess we got to say yay for that.
Well, I hate to be Debbie Downer here.
I'm
but while you can't hang a noose around somebody and lynch them, there is still shooting. Like stand your ground is considered a new form of lynching, and police killing, they call it the new age lynching.
Pretty much.
New age lynching?
Yep.
That is true. That is so true. Lynching's so old now. People got hurt back. They don't got time to be roping up nobody.
Yeah, like you can't even get a black
but I
man to
can
be
shoot you,
submissive enough to let you tie him up, you know?
People can't even do push-ups now with their own bodies trained, let alone try to hang somebody. Okay, guys. Probably a bad joke. Sorry about that.
Dude, this is Black History Month, man. I forgot. We never even acknowledged Black History Month on this entire show. And here we are making lynching jokes. My Lord.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
It wasn't a joke. People really can't lift each other up.
They can't.
Not like that, unless they go to the gym all the time.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, these these racists, they found new ways to lynch us now. So Daniel Grau's the biggest one. They need to get rid of that. Then we could celebrate.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, man.
What are they going to do?
And now for a quick commercial break.
To help better educate the public about media matters, Chemistry Productions co-founder Jay Stokes began writing for our personal web blog called Tit for Tat. You can find his writing at chemblog.wordpress.com. That's K3mblog.wordpress.com. Here, articles are posted every Thursday. Jay Stokes also writes media-related articles for Medium.com, which is a platform that helps pay our bills. Make sure to support by visiting Medium.com and search for J.Stokes.
Yeah, I gotta say though, this Black History Month has been the worst. It first started going through tragedy, then we had the Meg Thee Stallion video with G-Eazy. I ain't ever.
Yo, you saw the new Meg Thee Stallion video?
What happened there?
She's showing you how strippers should twerk. Oh, it's horrible. But hey, guess what? We had a whole show without Lizzo, and I'm gonna leave it like that.
So you mentioned her. Yeah, you mentioned her. Okay, so speaking of Lizzo, did you hear that talk where she was going in talking about, oh, we don't say nothing about men's genitalia size, but here you are criticizing women for being overweight.
I don't think I'm any different than any of the other great women who've come before me that had to literally, be politicized just to be sexual or sexualized or to, exist. They don't all look the same. And they all had to deal with the same type of marginalization and misogyny. So what does that tell you about the oppressor? What does that tell you about men? Get it together. We don't talk about your dick sizes, do we? And say, that's not a conventional dick size, it's too small. We still let y'all asses run all over the goddamn place.
I'm like, in what world do you live in? What?
I know. Listen, Lizzo, girl, listen. I love your music. All right, I love you. You go have a good year, a good 2020 year, all right? I'm not going to say nothing bad about you. Okay?
Yeah,
I knew let's take bets. That was like, right.
I'm not understanding what's up with y'all, man. Trying to be nice.
Nope.
It didn't come off genuine to me. I'm very intuitive, but I hear you.
It didn't come off genuine.
One of our listeners told me you are more of the conservative voice of the show.
How's that possible? How's that possible? That is not right.
No, because he said when you were talking about the hermaphrodite.
Hey, wait a minute.
That made him conservative?
No, because
what happened?
He kept saying, he's like, what did they change the name? We can't say that no more.
Yeah, I was confused. What happened to the hermaphrodites?
Wow.
Where are they?
Well, that they don't like to be called that. It's intersex. It's intersex.
Wait a minute, Corey. What's so funny?
Oh, shoot. That was wrong, man.
No, I'm just wondering because hermaphrodites.
The third time. We didn't even get started yet. Sorry.
Hermaphrodites. They had
intersex. Intersex people.
He keeps saying it.
Intersex.
What the hell is an intersex? When they change that?
Yo, that sounds like something a conservative would say. What? They changed the name? We can't say that no more.
Oh man, and I meant every bit of it. Like, oh man, they didn't change the name on me. Damn.
Yeah.
Where was I at?
stuck in a time bubble.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I really thought that was the silk. Just that, you know what? I should have known because you can't even call short people midgets no more.
Oh no.
So I mean,
Wait, what can you call them? But if you say short people, I feel like that's worse than saying midget.
Isn't it like something challenge?
What? That's even worse, dude. If you're saying you a short person, that's like saying you less of a person. If you say you challenged, then that's like saying you got something wrong with you.
Yeah, you can't call them something. You know what? The next show we're gonna bring that up. We're gonna see what.
Maybe it's dwarf.
Let me see the right term for midget. I don't know.
I hear dwarf. I think about that thing from Lord of the Rings.
What about the dwarf that just scammed the people out of money? They thought it was a baby or something.
Yo, that wasn't wrong, dude. That was really grown, man.
Oh,
that's a
okay.
grown
Check this out.
man.
So you call them little people.
Good night.
Oh wow.
That was a grown man.
You call them little people. You can't call them midgets no more.
People.
You gotta call them little people.
Little people.
I think that's worse.
I really feel that's worse.
The little people. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so the guy's name is
I have to process
Quaden. The guy's name is Quaden Bales, and people are really debating whether or not he's 9 years old. I even thought that was weird because I'm like, how do 9-year-olds know how to?
Quaden Bales was born with a form of dwarfism. His mother says the bullying gets so bad, Quaden is considered suicide.
Wait a minute, he committed suicide?
No, he was threatening to commit suicide.
Jay Stokes, listen, kids nowadays are deciding what sex they want to be, so I'm pretty sure they learn how to they commit suicide. So
you really went there?
Hey, am I telling the truth? These kids can do a lot nowadays. These kids, you know what? These kids probably could go fight a war right about now. Get a job, start driving. I mean, should we let them do anything else?
That is a good point. If a kid is not allowed to drink before the age of 21, why is it that they're allowed to if they want to be trans? That's a good question.
They're gonna be all right when these kids start talking about they want to be a tree and a dog. What you gonna say then? Bye. I bet you that's when they be like, you know what? Stop playing.
I was wondering too, because now this opens up another can of worms. They always say
race is a recent human invention. It's a social construct.
Right. They're also saying gender is a social construct. So if they say gender is made up and pretty much you could be whatever you want to be, can we say the same thing about race?
Like I
don't know,
lady that keeps saying she black.
Yeah, Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel crazy.
Rachel? Yo.
Rachel really want to be down though.
But guess what? She should be able to. She should be able to.
Let her go sit down. Forget it.
She should be able to be, she should be what she want to be.
Dealing with that anymore. Like she just really wants to be. So just let her be, damn it.
That's what I'm saying.
At least in her mind.
She'll realize to the cops.
The problem is though, when you have people like that coming into the black community, there's always the issue of they're gonna take money from our community.
Gonna be the one to stop her at the door, like.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'm gonna be just like the NOI.
You can hear her get money. You're not letting Rachel through the door, but go ahead. She's gonna take money from our community.
She's gonna take money from our community. She's going to. I just always feel like the black community is the only community that accepts everybody with us. They're like, yeah, come with us, come with us, come with us. And then we always end up in disarray.
Like the cookout, right?
Mm-hmm. But the Asian community, they stick with their own. The Hispanic community, they stick with their own for the most part. Obviously, you have those outliers, but we're like, come on. I'm not talking about marriage because black people tend to marry black people. Yes. I'm just talking about the outliers. I'm talking not the outliers, the people on the outskirts. I'm talking about the people that aren't married. Because we're so busy trying to cater to others, we're not building with each other. We're trying to build with everybody. And I feel like that takes away from our group. And if you look, we're a bottom caste in this society and in the world, really. And that's what happens.
Yeah, we are more accepting of people.
It speaks to our spirit, but at the same time, I don't think there is anything wrong with being segregated at times. And what I mean by that
I agree.
is being like,
I don't want to be around them all the time either, but we could, live amongst each other. But you know what? I'm black, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to be around all black people all the time either.
Nope.
Right.
Like I like diversity. Like I don't want to do that either. I know.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be around all white people or all black people. I don't have all black people. Fine, but like every single day.
Right. No, so it's like, yeah, I'm in my community, but if I want to like hang with other people, I'll do that. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna come back to mine.
Yeah,
is that
of course.
What you're saying?
Like my core friends are black, or like one of my best friends is Spanish and black. But I don't have a lot of close white friends. But like, yeah, but I don't. I just don't want to be around one group of people. I'm just used to a diverse atmosphere.
I feel like we're the only group that's pressured into doing that. Because if you look at like cats over in Maine, it'll be like 100% white, and then they won't see Negroes until they come to New York. But they were totally fine living in Maine with that 100% white crowd, right? They're stuck in their ways. They don't care about venturing out, and that's seen as acceptable. But as soon as you have a black person saying, I want to stick with my group, I want to do this, then you're looked at as discriminating. And it's like, why? I mean, as a part of being in a group, it makes sense. You're going to want to preserve your culture. You're going to want to preserve your people. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know why we're like that. I don't know.
If you think about it, when we were brought over during the antebellum slavery period, during Jim Crow era and everything like that, we were forced integration. We didn't have that choice.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that could be.
Yeah, so it's a mindset that's been passed out from the generation. Anywho, before we end this show, I just wanted to ask, in terms of Black History Month, how would you say going forward, because we need to do better next year, how would you say going forward we can fix this and make it so that we are celebrating it and honoring it and making sure that people know what it is? Because best believe, come June, the gays are going to be out in full effect. I think that's their month.
Yeah.
What? They got a month?
That's a choice. Yeah. Well, Pride Month, it used to be like one weekend, but now, they got a month.
I don't really know what we could do besides, you know what? I don't know. Come up with a fact every a Black History fact.
Well, we're doing that. We do that for chemistry, so we've been trying to do that.
Yeah. So there's no other way besides shouting out Black History Month.
For real, we're like Happy Black History Month.
Happy History Month. Shout out to Pookie and Ray Ray. In case y'all don't know, it's Black History Month, son.
I think we need to have like a party. We need to have an annual party. That's what will get people on board. Annual party, maybe a clothing or food drive, maybe something.
You know what's gonna get people on board? Days off.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Clothing and food drive.
You heard me? You heard me, Coy? Days off of work will get people on board.
Okay. Everybody started that.
Dr. King's holiday, that's even kind of fell under the radar as the years have gone by.
Dude, it's bad. It's like, I don't realize until I got the day off. I'm like, wait, when's it? I'm like, yo, it's the 15th. Well, they be on the 17th sometimes, the 18th. You be like, but it's the 15th. So, no, you're right. I mean, you know what? Communities do try to have marches.
They have a march in Stanford.
Yep.
Different places, I think, celebrate in different ways. Yeah, they have it. I don't know. I think they go to Greater Faith Church, and afterwards they'll go to like the Yearwood Center and have like a big breakfast and different activities for the kids, stuff like that.
I think
they make it a thing.
Yeah, I think it's really just the parents' job, to instill Black History Month, instill our Black leaders that are no longer here, their birthdays. We shouldn't just celebrate Martin Luther King. We should also celebrate Malcolm X.
Medgar Evers.
Huh? What happened?
Medgar Evers.
Yeah, exactly. Toussaint Louverture. I mean, we should celebrate a lot of people.
Black History Month. So that's what we'll do. Shed some light on those that don't get enough.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing that for chemistry. I just wish that it would take off and go to a bigger level, because I feel that's why I always put the chemistry hashtag under what we're doing for Black History Month so people can circulate it. On Tumblr, we've been getting some pretty good circulation with the different people and icons, but on the other platforms, I don't feel like it's making as much traction. So I would love for everybody to get on board. I think we're going to close this show out today. It's been great talking to y'all.
Same here,
As
Jay
always.
Stokes. Usual. Coy, poor Coy, baby girl. Hey, listen, everybody, have a lovely rest of the week. Thank you, listeners, for listening to the show. Leave comments. We like the good ones, the bad. And we see y'all next week, right?
Yep.
All right, next week.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.